Welcome back to the channel. Today we are on with this, which is a Vauxhall Corsa 1.4 SRI. We bought this car from Copart at Doncaster. We paid, what was it, £275 for the car, plus the fees and the VAT, which came to a total of £502. Obviously it wants quite a few parts, as you can see. So have a quick walk around the car. Obviously it wants a wing, a bumper, a bonnet, front grille, headlight. This wing's actually alright. Car's really clean down this side. Nice and tidy around the back as well. So all the damage is pretty much contained to the front end. However, there is a little bit of damage to this rear quarter as well. A little bit of a ding there. So we're going to get into it. We're going to start to lift the bonnet. We've not actually checked this car yet, so we don't know if the inner wings are straight and all that sort of stuff. So we're hoping that it is, but we never know till we lift the bonnet. So the plan with this is basically we're going to go through this car. We're going to put all the costings down. We've told you what we've paid for it. We found a front end online for, what is it? £395. But the guy there said he'd actually do us it all for £300, which consists of basically a whole front end. So the wings, the headlights, bonnet, bumper, grille, rad pack, crash bar, all the arch liners, pretty much everything we need for this front end for 300 quid. It is in a different colour, so we do need to get this painted as well. Fortunately for us, we do have our own paint shop, so we can hopefully save a little bit of money on the paint. But we're going to go through this. We're going to get all the costings of everything, total it all up at the end, and actually see if we can make a little bit of a profit on this car. We know these don't go for a hell of a lot of money. This is a 64 plate 2014, is an SRI model, so it is worth a little bit more, but probably, you know, it is a categorised car, is recorded as a cat. Is it a cat N?
Cat S, unfortunately.
Is it? Oh, it's a cat S, so obviously that will impact the value, but we're hoping we can get at least 1,800 quid, a couple of grand for it. There's not a massive profit in this car, but we just thought we'd give it a go, see what sort of money we can get out of this, what it's going to cost, and we'll let you guys know exactly the total cost at the end and the profit we've made on it. I'll take for a little look inside. The door is actually contacting the wing as well, so we need to get that wing removed as soon as possible so we don't damage the front of the door, because this door is good. So inside it's pretty clean in here, quite tidy. It's done 86,000 miles. It does start and drive, runs really well. There is a couple of warning lights on. Luckily none of the airbags have gone off, so that saved us a few quid there. Obviously we've got the service light, engine management light. I'm assuming this is tyre pressures or something. We'll look into that. This one that's flashing here is just the seatbelt light, and the other one is just the handbrake light, which goes off. So we will be plugging it in as well, reading the fault codes, see what codes we get out of the engine ECU and any of the other modules and ECUs that are in there. We'll do a full system scan on this. But the engine sounds sweet, which is a bit of a saving grace really. Right, so let's get into it. First thing we're going to do, Callum's going to rip this front bumper off the car in a quick release fashion. That was quite easy. Right, let's get this bonnet up. Where the bonnet pops on
I
these.
think it's on the driver's side of these.
Chassis leg looks straight. Obviously it has took this wing rail down, which is something we're going to have to deal with. Try and either bend it back into shape or get a replacement for it. The scuttle panel actually looks straight, apart from where it goes onto that wing rail. Engine's not been damaged, that's all. Still in position, engine mounts and everything look good. Plenty of cobwebs under here.
That's broke now.
Bye. Can see a little bit more now, look.
I think you can just take this full surround out as well if we whip this headlight out. Should be able to take this full surround.
Is that it? Any more in it?
Should be one more, I think. One more there.
So we're thinking this full front panel here, this slam panel, should come off in one piece. It's not actually too bad. This took a little bit of a knock there on that corner, but obviously because we've got a full front end anyway, it just don't make sense to even try and repair that at this point. Probably would be salvageable, but we've got a new one to put on it, so we'll whip this off and put the nice straight one in its place when we get it. We've got the majority of this front end stripped off now. Damage doesn't look too extensive. You can see this bracket here has took a bit of a bend that way. I think it's just actually the bottom corner what's folded in, so we're going to have to get some datum points, some technical data, and just measure from some datum points to make sure that these chassis rails are straight. But to be honest, by the time we've got the new impact bar, which we know is a good straight one, providing that fits side to side, the bolts line up, then we know pretty much that them chassis rails are straight. And then obviously we've got to get the front slam panel on, so we'll probably trial fit everything first and just make sure all the body gaps line up, just so we know that everything is straight. If everything does line up, happy days. If it doesn't, then obviously we've got bigger problems to worry about, but we can cross that bridge when we come to it. So for now we're going to carry on stripping it. Again, we have got this bit of damage here where this wing rail is folded down, so we need to gain access to this now. To do that, we've got to take this wing off. This wing looks like it's bolted on with a couple of bolts across the top here, which are an M6 or a 10mm head, and then there is one just on the inside of this door in there, if you can see that, just up there. And then we also think that there'll be one just hiding away under the bottom corner of this side skirt, so we're going to probably have to pull that side skirt out slightly as well. Once we've got that wing off, then we can actually assess this wing rail properly and make sure that that is going to be repairable or if it is replaceable. So let's get this wing off and assess it from there. So it looks like there's an extra couple of bolts in this wing that we can't actually see, and we're thinking that there's one or two that go through that way, which will have to be accessed underneath the wheel arch liner. So obviously to get access to those, we've got to take the wheel off, pull the wheel arch liner out, and then have a look what bolts are going in that way. And on top of that, there's also a couple of bolts that go from the lower section of that wing into the sill, but they're actually covered in seam sealer. So, well, from the factory, so we've got to get that seam sealer off them bolt heads as well before we can get access to the bolts to finally get this damn wing. Let's put the arch liner out now. We can see there was actually a bolt in there coming this way in, which is why we had to remove the arch liner. So that bolt is now out. I think the only two now that are remaining are down there, which you can see are covered in factory seam sealer. So we've got just the old drill with a wire wheel on. The drill here with the wire wheel. I'll give that to you. Get that seam sealer off the heads of them bolts, hopefully. We can then get them off. See the bolt heads. I'll whip them out and hopefully the wing will come off. Installed on the seam sealer or something. Yay! So that bolt was actually on sort of a slider or a hook, so we've only had to loosen it off a little bit and the wings actually slid out, so that was a bonus. Right, so with that wing off now, we can actually see what we are dealing with. All the suspension looks nice and straight. All the chassis rail and everything looks nice and straight. There's no creases or anything in there, so that's a good sign. A-pillar looks good. And this wing rail, we actually thought that this section here, we thought actually needed to come right up on itself, but looking at this side, it actually doesn't, because it's flat. So we just need to now get this into somewhat of a position, which is roughly around about there. Obviously wants a bit of tweaking, a little bit of hammer and dollying and a bit of a twist, so we'll play around with that, see if we can get that straight, and then obviously we won't know just how straight that is until we get the replacement parts, so we can try it all on and see how the body lines up. So that's the next thing we're going to do, is try and get this as straight as we can, as near as damn it. Right, so I've got a few tools out. I've got dead blow hammer, some body hammers, a couple of dollies and a podger. I'll see if we can get this somewhere near. Now obviously, if this was a removable part, this wing rail, we would be replacing it, but it's actually all part of the structure of the car, which works its way up into that A-pillar here. So that is not going to be an easy job to replace, and the rest of it is all completely straight. It's literally just this bottom end. So I'm going to give it a few knocks, hammer and dolly it, so we can get it somewhere near. Straighten this up best we can. There's not really much point in going any further with this bracket now until we've got something to reference from, obviously that being the slam panel and all the bits we took off here earlier on, headlight buckets and all that sort of stuff, and obviously the wing. So that is not bad at all. That is, judging off the other side, you can see them two compared, doesn't look bad at all. And we've also just straightened up the bottom corner of this chassis rail there, that was this where this bolt is at the bottom. It just curled under ever so slightly, so I've just give that a couple of knocks and that's come out pretty good as well. So happy with that. That looks pretty damn straight. So next thing we're going to do, obviously waiting for receipt of the replacement parts. They should be here in the morning, so next time you see this, parts will be here and we'll be mocking all this back up with fingers crossed, hoping that everything lines up well. A couple of days have now passed and we've got the parts here we need to get this front end built up. We've also got a load more stuff down here. It consists of the front bumper, rad pack, impact bar and slam panel and all the gubbins we need to get this front end built back up. Now the aim of the game here is we are basically going to build all this up and trial fit everything just to make sure all the panels line up, the panel gaps are good enough, and then it can all come back off for paint. Now we are going to have to build it back up with this rad pack for the time being. There is a bend in this, we are going to try and pull it a little bit straighter, and the reason we are going to have to reuse that is because the rad pack we've got here is actually pretty bad. It's not good at all, and the actual radiator looks like it's been pierced there as well, so that's a shame. We was going to use this full front end, but I don't want to build all this up and then find out that this radiator don't hold water when we know the one that's on the car does actually hold water as it is. Considering all these panels have got to come back off anyway for paint, it just makes sense to leave these on for now. We can get a new radiator, a new aircon radiator as well for it at a later date. Once we took the panels back off for paint, we can replace those and then put the painted panels back on. So let's get into it. Let's start getting this front end built up. Let's see if everything lines up and see if we've done a good enough job of straightening these bits out. So we do have a few lights to deal with on the dashboard, so we will get into that in the next episode, and we'll be clearing these lights down, having a look what it needs and why these lights are on. We'll come to that in the next episode. So hopefully next time you see this car, it will be all painted up and looking nice and fresh again. So that is everything all now built up. Wheel arch liners are in. We've just got a clamp on this piece of the side skirt here where it's bonded on. It was bonded on originally, so we put some panel bond back on that. We just got a clamp there to hold it in place until that sets. So we have decided now that we are actually going to get this car painted with the panels on. We may just remove the front bumper just to get these grills and stuff out, but we think that this might want a blend. Talking to our body lad, he's saying it might want blending into the doors, so it's probably easier just to leave the panels on at this point. Everything is now bolted in and fixed down as it should and as it was from the factory. So the total cost of this build so far, I'll drop in picture now. These cars do sell somewhere up to around 3.5 grand with reasonable mileage. Now this car is quite low mileage. It's only done 80,000. So the mileage is quite reasonable, but obviously it is categorised as an accident damage vehicle, so that will obviously impact the value. So once we've got all this painted up, cleaned up, fully valeted, re-MOT it, make sure everything's right, give it a service, with the total amount taken into consideration, to probably get about 2 grand for this car. It's not a massive amount, but this is the first car we've actually bought accident damage, so this was just a tester to see how we got on with it, see what sort of work was involved. So it's come together quite easily, to be fair. So not a massive amount of profit in this vehicle, but a profit is a profit, and we can now move on into the next vehicle once this is painted. We have got somebody actually interested in buying this car as well, and we're told the price will be about 2 grand, maybe 2,200, but I'm sure there will be a little bit in negotiation to be had. So next time you see this car, hopefully it will be painted. We'll keep you updated on this, and we will update you when the vehicle has been sold. So we're going to leave this one here. I hope you have enjoyed this episode and the build on this car. We've enjoyed doing it, something a little bit different to what we usually do. So if you have liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next video.